Most people install one ceiling fan and move on, but what if you have two bedrooms, or a bedroom and an office that both need airflow? Buying two separate fans means two separate orders, two different remotes, and usually two different looks. Today I'm installing a 2-pack of 42-inch ceiling fans. Same fan, same remote system, one box, one price. No electrician needed. Let's start with what's in the box. You get two complete ceiling fans, each with a motor, blades, light kit, remote control, and all the mounting hardware. Nothing extra to buy. Why 42 inches? If your room is under 144 square feet, a typical bedroom, home office, or nursery, a 42-inch fan is the right size. Go bigger, and the blades look too close to the walls. The sweet spot for most bedrooms in America is 42 to 44 inches. With a 2-pack, you save 15 to 20% versus buying separately. Here's everything I need: a Phillips screwdriver, a voltage tester, a wrench, electrical tape, and a ladder. Step 1, the most important step: check your ceiling box. There are two kinds: light fixture only, about 15 pounds max, and fan rated, 50 pounds or more. They look identical, but a fan on a light fixture box will loosen over months. Look for a sticker that says fan rated. Don't see it? Replace the box first. This is the one step where I'd call an electrician if unsure. Everything after is straightforward. Alright, let's move on to assembling the blade holder and motor. First, start by removing the screws from each blade holder. Use the appropriate screwdriver and make sure to keep steady pressure so you don't damage the screw heads. As you remove them, place all the screws in a small container or keep them together in one spot. These screws will be reused later, so keeping them organized is very important. Once that's done, double-check each blade holder to ensure all screws have been completely removed. This will make the next step much easier and prevent any alignment issues during installation. Next, turn your attention to the motor. Locate the outer ring screws around the motor housing. Carefully remove each of these screws one by one. Again, keep them safely stored and separate if needed, so you know exactly which screws belong to which part. Now comes the key step: attaching the blade holder assembly to the motor. Take the blade holder assembly and align it with the motor mounting points. Make sure everything lines up properly before inserting any screws. Using the screws you removed earlier, begin fastening the blade holder assembly onto the motor. Start by loosely tightening each screw to hold everything in place. Once all screws are inserted, go back and tighten them evenly. This helps ensure the assembly is balanced and secure, which is essential for smooth and quiet operation. Avoid over-tightening, as that could damage the threads or affect the alignment. A firm, snug fit is exactly what you're aiming for. Finally, give everything a quick inspection. Make sure all screws are properly tightened and the blade holder assembly is securely attached to the motor. If everything looks good, you're ready to move on to the next step of your installation. Great job so far. Let's keep going. Let's continue with the next step: installing the light fixture. First, locate the 3 inner ring screws on the motor. Using the appropriate screwdriver, carefully remove all 3 screws. As before, keep them in a safe place since you'll be using them again shortly. Once the screws are removed, you'll have access to the wiring. Now take the wires from the motor and connect them to the light fixture. Make sure you match the corresponding wires correctly. This is important for proper function. Push the connectors firmly together to ensure a secure connection. After the wiring is complete, gently position the light fixture back into place against the motor. Take a moment to align it properly so the screw holes match up. Now use the 3 screws you removed earlier to reattach the light fixture. Start by inserting each screw loosely, then go back and tighten them evenly. This will help keep the fixture balanced and securely mounted. Avoid over-tightening, just make sure everything is snug and stable. Finally, give the light fixture a quick check to ensure it's firmly attached and properly aligned. Once everything looks good, you're ready to move on to the next step. Alright, let's move on to this next stage of the installation process. We'll be working with the motor, mounting bracket, and upper canopies, so take your time and keep everything organized. First, locate the 3 large screws on the back of the motor, along with the safety cable. Carefully remove all 3 screws and detach the safety cable. Make sure to keep these parts together in a safe place, as you'll be reinstalling them later. Next, move to the mounting bracket. You'll need to remove the 2 opposite screws from the bracket. Take these out carefully and set them aside. These will be used again in a later step, so don't lose them. Once the screws are removed, gently twist and separate the 2 components of the bracket. Now take the receiver mount and remove it from the upper canopy. This will give you space to route the wiring properly in the next step. At this point, take the motor wires and carefully route them through the upper canopy. Make sure the wires pass through cleanly without getting pinched or twisted. Proper wire routing is important for both safety and ease of installation. Once the wires are through, align the 2 holes on the edges of the upper canopy with the corresponding holes on the motor. Take a moment here to ensure everything lines up correctly before moving on. Now, reinstall the 3 large screws you removed earlier. As you secure the motor and canopy together, also reattach the safety cable. Start each screw loosely, then tighten them evenly to ensure a secure and balanced fit. Make sure everything is snug, but avoid over-tightening. Finally, give the assembly a quick check and confirm that the canopy is properly aligned, the screws are secure, and the safety cable is correctly attached. With that done, you're ready to continue to the next step. Continue with installing the receiver and completing the wiring connections. First, take the receiver and place it into the receiver mount. Make sure it sits properly and is aligned with the mounting holes. Once it's in position, use the 2 screws that you removed earlier from the receiver mount to secure it. Start by tightening each screw slightly, then fully tighten them to keep the receiver firmly in place. Next, we'll move on to the wiring connections. You'll see 3 wires coming from the motor and 3 corresponding wires on the receiver. Carefully connect each motor wire to its matching wire on the receiver. Make sure the colors or labels match correctly and push the connectors together firmly to ensure a secure connection. Once all 3 wires are connected, gently tuck the connected wires underneath the receiver. This step is important to keep everything neat and to prevent wires from being pinched or interfering with other components. Now position the receiver assembly onto the motor. Align it properly so that the mounting holes line up. Then take the remaining 2 screws from the receiver mount and use them to secure the receiver to the motor. As before, start by loosely tightening the screws, then go back and tighten them evenly. This helps keep the receiver stable and properly aligned. Finally, take a moment to check your work. Make sure all wire connections are secure, the wires are neatly tucked away, and the receiver is firmly attached to the motor. Once everything looks good, you're ready to move on to the next step. Let's move on to the final installation steps. This is where we secure everything to the ceiling and finish the light assembly. First, take the mounting plate and insert the machine screws through the holes on both sides. Carefully align these screws with the screw holes on the junction box above the ceiling. Once everything is properly aligned, begin tightening the screws. Make sure they are secured evenly so the mounting plate sits flush and stable against the ceiling. Next, locate the safety cable loop. This is an important safety step. It ensures the fan is supported even before full installation is completed. Take the 3 receiver wires and connect them to the corresponding household wires using wire nuts. After the wiring is complete, carefully position the upper canopy. Once aligned, slide and twist the canopy into place so it fits securely over the mounting bracket. Now go back to the screws from step 7 and reinstall them into their original holes. Tighten all 4 screws evenly to lock the upper canopy firmly in position. This ensures both stability and a clean, finished look. Once everything is assembled, do a final check. Make sure all screws are tightened, all wiring is secure, and the lampshade is properly locked in place. And that completes your installation. Your fan and lights are now fully installed and ready to use. 2 fans installed. 5 key things. 1. Ceiling box must be fan rated. 2. Kill power at breaker. Test with voltage tester. 3. Wires through bracket before tightening. 4. Match colors. Black, black, white, white, green, green. Blue goes to black. 5. Hand tighten blades first. This is the Warmiplanet 42-inch 2-pack. DC motor, silent, 6 speeds, dimmable LED, 3 color temps, remote per fan. 2-year warranty, 10-year motor care. Link in description. If this saved you an electrician's fee, comment which rooms you installed in. Watch this next for the right fan size guide. Thanks for watching.